With another perfectly imperfect perspective, and today the word of the day is progress and knowledge of self, where if you could understand yourself, you could understand the whole universe. And I'm gonna break it down a little bit. For example, the earth is similar to the human body by ways it has pressure points and arteries and veins. To break it down even more would be an example of the veins in the earth would be where they draw oil from. You notice they only draw oil from certain places on the earth. They always go to like the Middle East or South America somewhere. Why is it that oil only comes from those places? I feel like those are the earth's arteries. They tap it right into like the earth's artery. And they say that oil is a natural resource, meaning it could run out eventually. The same way if you shoot somebody and they run out of blood because you didn't clog or you didn't tape them up, because the body's gonna naturally reproduce blood the same way the earth is gonna naturally reproduce oil. You just can't take too much out at once. Draws me to think that so much in the world is being taken from it when it could help us, for the sake of technology, etc., etc. There's no disease on this earth that can't be cured on the earth. But by them taking all the trees and all the plants from us, you have no choice but to go to the doctors and have them give you the medicine that they see fit so they can make money on it forever. And I was reading God and the Law of Relativity by Ammi, and I'm gonna read it like a couple chapters. We starting on page 11. The law in the life of harmony does not bind, it frees. Righteous creativity is not limited. It is an endless corridor. Righteous societies will not be without progress and innovation. Humanity has yet to enjoy a world of godliness with all its righteous inventions, in contrast with the world under Satan's influence and its wicked inventions. An excess of motor vehicles and manufacturing industries that pollute the air and water, ecologically unsafe, tree-destroying paper mills, microwave ovens that emit radioactivity, etc., etc. The world has secured its destruction by locking itself in a situation where it is dependent upon wicked inventions. Right now, we see evidence of this in recent Middle East oil crisis, where Saddam Hussein and Iraq engaged in war against America and her allies over Kuwaiti oil. Oil, as you know, is the foremost ingredient in empowering Western industry and aeronautical inventions. The fiber of the entire existing world is dependent upon the continued existence of rulers that are dedicated to the destruction of the planet's natural resources and the defilement of God's creations. Whereas while the coming of a world governed by God, there will have to be radical changes, a new Genesis, as we return to the God ethic and restore the glory and beauty of God's creations. I'll stop right there real fast. I know sometimes you talk about God and stuff, that scare people, but basically it's just being one with your environment, being at peace with your environment. That's all that is, in my opinion. It's finding your God, whatever, being at peace with the world. What else do you find religion for but to find peace, to be able to accept what you got, accept your life? But we back to it. Whatever the greatness of technical change, progress, and advancement, man will have to remain forever subject to laws governing the glory and beauty of God's creations. Thus, innovation itself is not the violation of law. However, innovation that destroys the basis or root of life, or is found to be in violation of God's ethics, cannot be allowed. For example, a vehicle in itself is not a wicked invention, but a transportation system which destroys the atmospheric balance of oxygen by emission of carbon monoxide is in violation of the law of God. The problem could then be in the number of vehicles or their utilization. We now realize that the vehicle is not so much the problem as are the minds programmed to accept and perpetuate institutionalized greed. What is man's sense of progress based upon that makes him afraid to stop and reevaluate just to where he is progressing? Progress is not the greatest need. To move in the right direction is the essential factor. This world is making great strides, but in the wrong direction. Man has a strong tendency to reevaluate progress with inventions and materialistic gains. These things have been subtly linked to life and living. Yet according to the Bible and the words of the prophets, man has not progressed since his origin, but regressed. What makes 20th century man evaluate himself and his inventions as progressive? Is pollution aggressive? Is nuclear proliferation progress? Is the extinction of the wildlife progress? And to whom must we attribute the source of the problem? My finger must point in the direction of our nation's leaders, those who legislate laws governing our every action and decision, as well as the public, which blindly accepts these tragedies and condones the deeds of these legislators by voting them into office. Righteous rulership will always take into consideration God and the survival of his creations. Thus, all that sit in the authority over the people must study and seek to understand the significance of a just and harmonious relationship between God and the creations of man. God, the creations, man, they are placed in this order because God's existence is proven by the presence of his creations, even the unexplainable. Yet he, being God, cannot exist without them. Man is a product of the creation. He was created to keep and care for the creations because they are relevant to life. Without them, he will perish, for man cannot exist without the creations. And we destroying the whole world, and then we wonder why everybody's sick, looking bad, skin falling off. And it really ain't hard to tell.